Hey everyone, it's Natalie. So today's video is going to be on how to support your husband and help him gain the confidence and the courage that he needs. When I first met my husband, I didn't realize that his sweet nature, his bashfulness, his shyness, his timid personality was due to abuse. I just thought that my husband was, a low-key guy. He wasn't very dominant because I do have a dominant personality, which, they say opposites attract. So my husband was completely different than me because I have confidence and, I know what I want. I'm a go-getter in life, but I just felt like my husband just did not have that confidence. And everything that I looked at him when we first met at 15 to be this sweet, timid guy, started to carry on into his manhood. And I can tell you, after a few years, even though he's the sweetest guy, he's a big teddy bear, I just love him to death. When we started to mature into adults, I was looking for a strong, dominant, charismatic, a strong personality type of individual, because I thought, well, maybe, his shyness and timidness was just, something, how he acted as a child, and that it wasn't going to carry on into his adulthood, but it did. It wasn't until many years later that I realized that these were signs of abuse. I know in my early 20s, I started thinking of my husband as much less than a man. I felt like I was the one that wore the pants in the family. I made all the main decisions. I basically was kind of the man in the relationship, and I didn't want that. I wanted my husband to step up and take charge in our relationship and to show me that he can protect me. So I remember one day I talked to him and I said, honey, you got to gain some confidence. This is one of the reasons why he had just graduated from college. And I said, this is one of the reasons why you're not getting a job, because he had went to many interviews and no one would ever call him back. And I put two and two together, that his low-key, never talk unless you're spoken to type of attitude was the problem. And so what I did through the years to help him gain his confidence, and this is way before I even became a life coach, and who knew I was life coaching him at that time. So we started off with his confidence in the interview room. And so what I would do is I would kind of mock an interview with him, and I immediately saw what the problem was and why he wasn't getting these jobs, because the way he talked was very low. There was very confidence. There was no eye-to-eye communication. His body language was slumped. His shoulders were slumped. His back was slumped. And he acted like a kid. It was like talking to a small child who, matter of fact, looked like he was in trouble. And so what I started to do was help him speak. And I would tell him, you've got to raise your voice. You've got to be more confident. You have to look at the interviewer in the eye. And don't wait to be spoken to. If there's something that you need to say during the interview, speak up and say it. Because his degree is in management, right? And so, like I told him, I said, if your job is going to be in management, they want to see someone that is hard-hitting, that can take control of a situation, who has authority. And I told him, you just don't have that. And so what we started to do we still do it to this day actually, is anytime he has some big thing that he has to speak at, we do a mock-up. So, and it kind of feels weird because it's not like you're going off a script, which you could write a script, but you're just kind of going off your head what you think an interviewer would say, or what a certain whoever it is would say to this person. You just kind of make it up as you go, and it can kind of feel like acting, because that's what it is. And so while you're sitting here doing this mock interview or mock speech or mock, just trying to build the confidence in your partner, you need, if they're doing something that is not confident, you need to point it out. And then what you do from that point on, when you realize where the confidence is lacking, is through your relationship, through your life together, when you see your partner acting timid, not confident, shy, having poor body language, is you go and point it out to them. And you say, come on, babe, let me see that straight spine. Let me see your shoulders back, your head high, and give me an eye connection. And let me hear you have a strong voice, a strong, steady voice, and tell me what you want. You're not asking someone what you want. You're telling them what you want. And so even to this day, we still do this. But not only, I'm just using the interview as a example. It could be on anything. But what I noticed is when I started to help him build his confidence, to build him as a man, because remember, our husbands, if you have a scapegoated husband or a forgotten husband, our husbands think of themselves as children. And this carries on into their adulthood, into their relationships. And you have to help your man find his independence, to find his personality, to find his confidence and courage. Our husbands are scared to speak to someone without being spoken to, or speak up when one of their needs is not being met, or speak up when they have a problem, right? So you tell them, honey, it's okay to speak up if you're upset. It's okay if you don't like something and, you need to tell someone, I don't like this. Don't feel bad about it. No one's here to judge you. You're a grown man. You have the right to your own opinions, to your own decisions. And you have to start helping him build that confidence. The worst thing you can do is belittle him for not having that confidence. It's not going to help him. I know that low confidence, that timid, that shyness started to make me feel unattracted to him. And as much as I loved him, I knew I had to help him. And so if you go around criticizing him, belittling him, instead of encouraging him to be a stronger individual, a stronger human being, guys, you're not his mother. So he shouldn't act like a child to you. When you go out with him and stuff, that's the thing. It's like he still acts like that when, you look around and you see your friends and they have these strong, confident men. You kind of look at your husband like a weakling. You kind of look at him like kind of unattracted to him, because you're like, I want a man like that. I want a man with courage. The worst thing you can do when you're thinking that way is to criticize him. You pinpoint the things that you see your husband that needs help with, and you encourage him. You encourage him to be the man that he's always wanted to be. not what you want. He's suffering. He hasn't found his footing in life yet. He's never had the courage to say what was on his mind, what his opinions and decisions were, because the narcissist wouldn't let him. So be a supportive partner by, really, you can show him things about himself that, and you're not criticizing. You're just saying, I know that you're better than this. I know that there has been abuse in your life and you are a scared child. And I'm here to support you, to encourage you, and I never want to discourage you from what you want to be or who you want to be in life. Because when you find yourself starting to be unattracted to this shy, timid, quiet, low-key guy, especially when his posture speaks volumes too, says the same thing about him, you don't see that confidence. When you start to see that, it's really hard to explain, but you can feel this unattractiveness to him. You can feel like maybe you made a mistake in the person you chose. And it's really hard to not criticize him for not being a man and not standing up for you and not being the strong individual as for a woman. Us women, we like strong individuals. Now, we love our sweet guys, right? We love them. That's why we chose them. But in certain situations, we want to see the bull. We want to see the strong individual that represents a man. That's what we look for. And so if you go off and criticize him about, you're not a man, you're embarrassing me, all that's going to do is abuse him further. It's not going to help him, and he's going to sink in to himself even more. If you think criticizing him is going to pick him up and help him, no, it's going to knock him down. And you're going to see that his situation will get worse. Encourage him to be that strong man, just like he encourages you to be the woman that you are. Because without a man, a woman isn't a woman, right? And we do rely on our men for the strong will that we have. And even though our partner might be timid and shy, being with a man really does give us that confidence boost. Gives us a strength that we didn't have before our husbands were in our life. And so when you see your husband needing encouragement, needing support, then you help him. You help him by talking to him, by being understanding, by being empathetic, and trying to help him work through the abuse that he went through. Because he has a lot of shame. He has a lot of blame built into his system that he really has to heal from. The whole reason why our husbands act this way, timid and shy and low-key, is because of the abuse. So we have to encourage them. And you do that by working with him and showing him what strength is. Because honestly, without you, when you're dealing with the scapegoat or forgotten child, our husbands aren't very strong. You are, just like he's your strength, you're his strength. And he's looking for that strength. Hold on 1 second. I just have to put this up. I'm picking up my son from school. Sorry. So he's looking for a supportive partner, not someone to ridicule him. He's had enough of that in his life. So you work with him. You show him love and compassion, and you tell him it's okay if you need to cry. It's okay if you need support. And through the years, this is what I've done with my husband. Through the years, my husband's confidence has went sky high. Honestly, he doesn't even, like, if you knew him back then and you knew him now, it's not like he's even the same person. I mean, he is a construction manager, and when you work in construction, you have to have tough skin. And I feel like because we practiced helping him get that courage and confidence, it prepared him to have this position as a construction manager. And when you see him at work today, I'm so proud of him. I'm sorry. I'm so proud of him. Because if you had seen him 15 years ago, you would have thought he was a scared little child. Today, he's a man. And it's because of support. It's because of, well, at the time I didn't know I was coaching him, but it was because I was coaching him. And you don't have to necessarily be a certified life coach to coach your husband. You just need to educate him on not only, how to be a confident person, but educating him on narcissistic abuse and how to heal from it. It's really important that our partners find the recognitions of the answers that they've been looking for in the questions that they wanted to ask the narcissist. Why'd you say this? Why'd you do that? And through healing and through answers through education, they get that, I don't know. They get the strength to forgive, to move on, to have the courage, to have the strength, to be the person that you've always wanted them to be. And it's so important to always be there for your partner and not to criticize or ridicule them for the abuse that they've suffered. The good news is because you're educated in narcissistic abuse, you can educate your husband. You can help him heal. Don't use this education of narcissistic abuse against him. Just because you're getting educated on doesn't mean you get to use it as a weapon. You use it for the good of your relationship, for the good of that human being. You put to use your knowledge. And he becomes the man that you've always wanted him to be. It might take a few years to really get him very, on the confidence level that you want. But the main thing is his confidence level is where he wants it to be. And you, sorry, I'm picking up my son. You just work with him on regaining his strength, independence, and, he'll encourage, really. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I have to pick up my son, so I have to cut this short, but I can do more videos on this subject, but I just wanted to make a quick video for the person that emailed me. And listen, girlfriend, our husbands, what you're going through with your husband was the exact same thing I went through with mine. Peace, love, and harmony.